Hello, hi, I am Astrid, I am Wattle and Wool, and welcome to part 2 of the episode I started filming about 3 weeks ago. I will finish, I pretty much stopped where I last ended, with the plan on coming back to it the next day, but life. So I was doing the Latvian course, I was doing the A1 level, and I had to do a speech in it, and I did it, and I got 10 out of 10. I got excellent for it, which I'm really happy with. Overall, I got 9 out of 10 for the writing, and I got 10 out of 10 for the speaking, which was amazing. And I passed with 10 out of 10, and it was incredible, and I'm really proud of myself. Then I had one day to rest, recuperate before starting on A2, which is the brand new level. Now, for context, for most people, it takes you about 6 months to do a level. So A1 to get to A2 usually takes 6 months, and then doing A2 to get to B1 takes about 6 months. So I did A1 in 2 weeks and then thought I was ready for A2. And surprise, surprise, I wasn't, which I'm sure comes to no shock to anyone. So I jumped straight into A2, and oh my goodness, it was so hard. So I had someone speaking pretty much all in Latvian. So the very first learning that I did, the first one was learning mostly in Latvian, but in English too. So for example, how to say how are you, kā tev iet. So kā means how, tev means you, and iet is to go. Iet is the you singular version of to go in the present. So kā tev iet, how you go, how you going, which means how are you going. So that's the kind of thing that I learnt. Makes total sense to me. Every word was broken down. Everything made sense. And then this time, I kind of just jumped in and they were speaking Latvian non-stop. As someone who doesn't speak Latvian, that made it very hard to learn. And it was just very full on. I have since found out that the way that I learn is slightly different to other people. Or I guess I'm more in tune with my unique way of learning. So I'm very visual, and when I'm putting words together to speak them out, I actually see them in my mind. So I speak them, I almost arrange them like words in a sentence behind my eyes, and then I read them out as I'm speaking. Then when I'm listening, I'm hearing those words, and it's like I'm writing them down so I can read them as I'm listening. And then when I'm speaking again, I write them out and then I speak them. And so it's a very complicated, long process that works for me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this is because I learnt French in a more academic format through school and then university. And so for me, grammar, tenses, I really need to see them written down to be able to understand the differences. But it does mean that a course with an intense focus on speaking and listening and less focus on reading and writing doesn't work for me very well. So I ended up really struggling in the course. It just so happened as well that I had university due, so I didn't go to a couple of days. One day I had a migraine and another day I had university due, and yeah, it was just a bit crazy. So basically I asked to not receive a score for the A2 lessons that I was doing, and apparently I got 83%. I have absolutely no idea how I got that mark. I think it's wrong, but I basically chose to just have a participation instead of an achievement, because if I got the achievement, I would have to get the achievement in A2, which means that my next time of trying would have to be in B1, and I'm just not ready for that. So I've done a month of Latvian. I am not fluent at all, but I'm getting somewhere, and I really, really, really enjoyed my process. So that's where I've been and why I didn't record sooner. I apologize for that. I also didn't realize that the battery cut me off, so that was a mistake. Anyway, so let's continue with telling you about what I got, and then I have some more to show you as well because I've been traveling again. But finishing off from last time, what I've done. Okay, so I showed you that I got this one, and I showed you that I got the Icelandic leadership and the Lopi style small hand-dyed colour extras. No, I didn't show you this one, sorry, my bad. From Dotter Dye Works. Now this is when I was in Iceland, this is still when I was in Iceland. From Dotter Dye Works, I got this beautiful grey. It's just like a steel grey, and it's called Pavement. And I got this one, which is called 40. They are both 75% merino superwash, 20% nylon, and 5% silver stellina, which in the sunlight you can really see. And I just love this one. I think I got it to do maybe a shawl or a beanie, and I also love how this bit here and this grey just match really nicely. So I got these two to go together. I fell in love completely with, where are we? Tweed yarn. I always loved tweed yarn. And I walked past this display and almost died in happiness, and then realised I needed to buy some. And when I say realised, it was obviously a very hard, conscious decision. I was very happy. So I bought these 6. These are from Hex Dye Works, which is another Icelandic brand. This, oh god, they have Icelandic names, which means I'm not even going to try and say their names, but this one looks like that. I don't even know if I could write it because I don't think Icelandic uses different letters. But like green at Okund, maybe? I don't know. It is tweed, it says tweet, instead of tweed fingering, it's tweet finnering. It is 85% superwash merino and 15% Donegal nep, which, oh my god. And I just love these. They are slightly different colours, because it's a natural, it's a hand-dyed process. But if I hold up these ones, these are 3 of the same colourway. So you can see there's a slight difference. I probably will need to do maybe helical knitting with these just to make sure that they blend in, but it's worth it. And then these 2 are Pepperminta, which is like peppermint. And they just remind me of like trees in the forest, or lichen, that kind of beautiful colour. And this one is Nougat. So all 6 of these are going to be a jumper of some sort. I don't know what yet. I will figure it out. Jennifer Steingast has some amazing sweaters that I've wanted to knit for a long time. But I'm wondering if I want to be inspired and design something with these. I don't know yet. I have a lot of designs in my brain at the moment. But yeah, so these are what I got. I got these from Mal, which is melband.is. Again, hand-dyed yarn. And these are, I think these were a special colourway. I don't quite remember what. But these are just beautiful. And I got these little mini set to go with them. So again, I don't know what I'm going to make, but it's going to be something beautiful. These remind me of like a warm Christmas. So that may be something that I do. I don't know. But I love them. And from Maxi, I got these earrings, but the bags have fallen off. Well, it's fallen off at least one. I don't know where the other one's gone, but I'll put one in for you so you can see. But they are wooden bead earrings, and I think I was wearing my pink knitted mohair dress on that day, and so I wanted something that would match. So I got the pink. Okay, so that is all from Iceland. It feels like such a long time ago that I went there, so this is really fun to rediscover what I've bought. Before I get into what new things I've bought, I haven't shown you, I don't think I've shown you, some of the other things that I've got. So I totally don't remember if I've shown you this or not, but I may as well show you now and show you what I've also gotten. So this is from in Sydney. So when I was in Melbourne, before I left the country, I went to Sydney, I went past Sydney, and I found Madeline Tosh, which, sorry, not Madeline Tosh, I found Skein Sisters, which is a beautiful Sydney dye studio, and no, it's not. What am I talking about? It is a wool, like a yarn store. There we go. It's a yarn store in Sydney. And I always see people talk about it, and I'd never been. So I wanted to go, and my lovely friend Mel took me, which I'm super grateful for. So these are some of the things that I bought. So I got Madeline, this is why I got Madeline Tosh. These are fingering weight hand-dyed yarn. This is Black Sea. And it has these really beautiful speckles of orange in it. I got Silver Lining, which has even more speckles of orange in it. And then I got Saffron, which is orange. So I figured that these three together would be a beautiful colouring, a beautiful trio. Again, no idea what for, but I love them and I wanted to play with them. I also got, this one is the Skein Sisters brand. It's called Fuchsia Proof. And this is 4-ply sock weight, 80% Australian superwash merino, 20% nylon, so it's perfect for a sock, which of course I won't make it as a sock, but I'll make it for something else. And I found these two, I think I was in a rust nougat phase, but I found these two with this beautiful white, creamy orange speckles and then this orange. They are Fiore merino silk, 75% Australian fine merino, 25% silk, 100 grams over 800 meters. The orange is raw sienna and the white is tangerine nougat. So again, these are some beautiful things that I have been keeping with me. I probably actually need to stop buying yarn. To be honest, I've got enough. But we all know that's not going to happen, and I have more to show you that I can't listen to myself. When I was with Woolen Works with Chloe, we met a couple of years ago, and then we met again when I was in Melbourne, and I went to her house, and she had some mistake skeins, and I saw them, and I was like, oh girl, they are beautiful. This was for her new collection that is now dropped because this is really late. And she was like, no, they're mistakes. Like, no. And I was like, are you, what, no, what, no? And she's like, yeah, no, they're like mistake skeins. I'm gonna, not use them. I'm gonna get rid of them. And then she looks at me and she goes, do you want them? And I was like, yeah, I do. So I have a full, I have all of them. This is just 3 to show you. But they are like candy floss fluff. And they're so beautiful. And I can't wait to make something with them. I don't know what, but I will make something. And they will be on me and they will make me very happy because they are beautiful. Okay, so a few more things have been happening. I made this beanie for my teacher. It is for my Latvian teacher, my first one, because she was just incredible. It is very fluffy and very big. It takes just over 1 skein of alpaca, mohair, silk, something fluffy, and it takes about 1.5 skeins of a colour changing yarn. So I went from this light pink up to the red, and then it would go back to the light pink again, but I didn't continue on with that obviously because it finished, and there's not quite enough for a small beanie, and she has a goddaughter, but the goddaughter is too big for the small beanie size that I could make. This is called Milu, which is the Latvian word for love, and this is version 1. I would like to make version 2, and I'm going to make it without the bubbles. So I kind of wanted to put bubbles in, and unfortunately they look really good on the reverse side, and you can barely see them on the basic side, which does bother me quite a bit. This is not really a reversible beanie, so I mean it could be, but it's not meant to be, and so that kind of bothers me that it didn't work out. I'm still going to gift this to my teacher, and it's made for her, so it's still beautiful, I still love it, but I'm a bit sad that it didn't work out exactly how I wanted. And then we have these love hearts that are used with twisted stitches or like cabled stitches, and then just knit purl combination. And I think next time I'm going to omit the bubble border and just do the love hearts instead. So I'm going to redo this beanie, and that is another one that I need to write up and put out. What I'm actually going to do while I show you all of these, so this is going to be a gift for my teacher that I've got to meet her for coffee and give to her. What I need to do is write down a list of to-do things that I need to do. I have potentially gotten a job. I haven't necessarily gotten it yet because I don't have the contract for it, but it looks like I will, which is super exciting. And I have found housing in Paris, and I will be moving there in 2 weeks. So I have 2 weeks to sort my life out in Latvia and get ready to move, and that's a lot. So let's do it together. Latvia final days. This is all the things I need to do in the last few days of Latvia. So I need to gift the Milu beanie. I need to pack because I have a lot of stuff. I need to potentially buy another box to pack that. I need to potentially buy a storage box. Honestly, I'm kind of wondering if I ask my aunt if I can leave some things in here, if I pack them up and just leave them here, but I don't know what she'll say, so I need to ask her that. Ask Tanta if I can borrow space. I need to go through my knitting. So one issue is I've bought a lot of stuff that like I love, or I thought I would use at the time, and then it turns out I haven't used it. So I thought I was going to be able to have time to be able to make a few more beanies, and I haven't been able to. So now I have like the materials for the beanies and no beanie. So I'm actually wondering if I want to make my for example, I have the Concept by Katya Alpaca Silver, and I've got 2 of these. I'm wondering if I want to make my Milu beanie number 2 in this, but then there's no way that I would have it. Like, I don't need it. So then I'm wondering, do I sell them maybe? Would anyone be interested in buying it? It would have to include shipping from France, which is where I'll be. So like there's a lot to kind of consider. So I don't know what to do with this, but this is like €4. Yeah, €5. So I don't really want to get rid of it because it's expensive. Yeah, so I don't know. So I need to figure out spare yarn. Figure out spare yarn. I need to write up the patterns that I've already got. Honestly, I thought I'd be a lot more productive in this trip so far. I feel like I've knit a fair amount. Like I'm happy with the amount that I've been knitting, even though I think even that is less than I thought I would do. But I haven't written as many patterns as I thought I would, or I haven't, like I've made terrible notes that only I can read in a Google Doc form, but I haven't actually written them up. And so I'm feeling a little bit sad with myself that I haven't been as productive as I thought I would be, and I will need to work on that. So that's I need to do that. Maybe that will be a couple of different dot points in my to-do list. I need to finish my large cardigan. So I can't actually show you because it's in several different pieces around the room, but I have got the back, the side panels, or the front pieces. I've got this one sleeve done and I'm up to the second sleeve. I have sewn together the back and side panels, and I've sewn the first sleeve like into a sleeve, but I haven't attached it to the body, and I need to now knit the second sleeve so I can attach that in a circle, attach that to the body, and then do the finishings. So there's quite a lot that I need to do, so I can't really show you because it's literally in a million pieces, but I would like to have that finished by the time that I move. I think that would be really helpful. What else do I need to do? I don't know. Alright. Maybe I will keep writing as we go through more things that I've bought, because it's me. I went to Estonia and Finland. So I went to Tallinn in Estonia and Helsinki in Finland for a few days, mostly because I am about to fly to Paris and I realized that I haven't even been to the country next to where I'm living at the moment. I would have added Belarus, but for fairly obvious reasons, that's quite unsafe, and I'm not going to do that because of the Russia situation. So I just stuck with with Estonia and Helsinki, or Tallinn and Helsinki. So I caught a bus from Riga to Tallinn, which was 3 hours, and it was quite a comfortable bus ride, and that was lovely. And then I went through Tallinn. I spent 1 day there, and my rule for visiting a new country is it needs to be 1 day and 1 night. So I need to do an overnight stay, and then I can wake up and go and find a spoon for my souvenir spoon collection. Weird, I know, but it works. So I went to Tallinn, and I arrived maybe about lunch, and I had a friend who I might have caught up with for dinner, but they were busy, so that was a bit annoying, but that's okay, I figured it out. And yeah, so I was in Tallinn. It's beautiful. It's different to Riga. Actually, let me know if you would like me to do like a city tour or like a collection of photos of Riga, because I feel like I've been here, I haven't really shown you very much, but I also don't know if you want to see it. So let me know if you do, and I will happily do like a little video tour. So Tallinn was quite similar to Riga. Obviously it is 3 hours north, but one big difference is that there is like their parks aren't very manicured. So in Riga, the parks are beautifully maintained. Everything is really well kept clean and orderly. And I just didn't see the same thing in Tallinn, which kind of confused me. Tallinn is slightly smaller population. I think Latvia is 1.8 and Estonia is 1.3. So it is slightly smaller. It's also a slightly smaller geography, I'm pretty sure. and they are richer because they made a lot more money with the internet. And so they started doing a lot more technological things. Latvia is still catching up. When I was there, they had a lot, like, I mean, a huge amount of construction. So I was jumping with fences, or like, you know, trying to go on boardwalks and walking on gravel, and that was a bit annoying. I do find Riga is a little bit more tourist friendly and a little bit more easy to get around, whereas I still found Tallinn a little bit difficult. Maybe that's because I've been here for months though, so that could be a biased opinion. And yeah, so then I had bought the ferry ticket. So I bought a ticket on the ferry to go from Tallinn to Helsinki, and it said be there at 12. And I was like, yep, awesome. So I was there at 12, and it turns out I had to be there at 11:30. And so I missed the boat, and they were like, yep, cool, come back at 6:30 p.m. because that's when your next boat will be. And I was like, all right, cool. So I basically had to spend another 4 or 5 hours wandering around Tallinn. So that was actually quite beautiful. I got up into the old town. So the old town in Riga, again, pointing out differences. Old town in Riga is very flat. And so there's not a lot of like walking uphill that you have to do. Whereas Estonia or Tallinn, there was a lot more kind of like you're walking up and down hills a little bit more. And when I say a hill, I mean a small level elevation, but it is more noticeable. It's still cobblestones. When you're walking up cobblestones uphill, you can tell the difference. So I walked around around Tallinn. I was trying really hard to not spend too much money, especially because I was there longer than I wanted to be. Because obviously I meant to get the boat to Helsinki. And so I didn't want to eat too much food. Like I didn't want to get too much. I just didn't want to. So I had like an ice cream, and you know, I just chilled. I read a book on my phone. I knit, and I'll show you what I was knitting in a minute. And then I also went to a Estonian shop, and I found some knitting stuff, which of course. So this is 2 skeins. They are 380 meters of hand-spun Estonian wool, and they remind me a lot of Spin Cycle, which is something that everyone always dreams of having, and now I have a Estonian version of Spin Cycle. They are absolutely beautiful, and I really, really, really like them. They are very rustic though, so it does mean that whatever I make with these either is going to have to hold mohair and be really warm, or be quite loose and be an outer layer. It will soften up a little bit when you wash it, but I did feel the washed version and it's not that soft. So I really love it. I love the colors. Again, thank you so much to my friend Hannah from Norway for reminding me that I like purple and that I look good in purple. And yes, so I'm excited for these. I don't know what they're going to be, but I couldn't resist buying them. So these are like my Estonian wool version. I also bought, while I was there, some juniper soap, which smells like the forest. Oh my goodness, it is amazing. And so I can't decide whether I want to use it on my body or keep it with my wool. I'm probably just going to pack it with my stuff while I move to France, and then we'll see. But it smells so good. And I bought some buttons. These are hand-carved wood buttons, which I thought would go really well on the cardigan that I am making. And they have these really cool, if you can see the textures, or like, not textures, patterns. Yeah, I just think they're beautiful. So they're a little bit different, just a little bit unusual, and I got 5 of these, so I figured that would go well onto the cardigan that I'm making. I also got some Estonian chocolate, which is chocolate with a dark chocolate with like a sweetened condensed milk something filling. It is quite nice, but it's very rich, so I can only have a little bit at a time, which is probably good for me because I've been eating a lot of chocolate lately. Then I went to Helsinki, and I arrived there quite late, so that night I couldn't really do much. I just went to bed. Then the next day I walked around. I'd planned to do more, but I think because I got there so late, instead of in the afternoon, I had to put everything into one day. And there were some places, like there's a big military fortress. It's literally called the Castle of Finland. There's no castle, but it's like the Castle of Finland, and it's on an island. You have to take a ferry to it. And I just didn't feel like I had the time or the money to take it. It's a 24 euros, so it's not that expensive. It's maybe $50. But considering I wanted to do other things, I just didn't think that it was the best choice at the time. So I'd love to come back and do it again. But at least I can say that I've done Finland a little bit. Finland is beautiful. It's really fun. I had reindeer soup, which was delicious. It's like a milk-based or milky soup, like creamy soup, which sounds disgusting, but it's actually really nice. And it had like reindeer meat in it, and it was just incredible. And the seasoning was amazing. For a Nordic country or a Scandi country or a Northern Eastern European country, we like to season with dill and more dill and a little bit of pepper and salt and more dill. And it was well seasoned to those standards, but also well seasoned. So not just like white person seasoned, it was actually well seasoned. So I did enjoy that. Okay, so I found a Finnish yarn store. So wherever I go, obviously there's no point in me buying stuff in places that I can buy back at home. So I always try to walk in and ask what is locally made, what is locally dyed, and some of these were pointed out to me, and oh my goodness, trying to only choose what I chose was really hard because I wanted so many, but this is what I came away with, and I'm so glad that I did. First up, this is Finnish wool, Finnish hand spun, so Finnish spun wool, and there's this chocolate brown. They don't have names, they just have numbers. So there's chocolate brown, this red, and then this green, which I think would make an awesome Christmas scarf. So that's definitely what is going to be happening. It is moth protected, which, thank you, Finland. And it is 50 grams, 200 meters of 100% wool. So it is absolutely beautiful. It is a bit rustic, and it smells like lanolin. So it smells like that rustic bit, and I can literally right now pick out like guard hairs and stuff from the sheep. So it is a little bit rustic still, but it is really nice, and I think something loose and big around my neck would be okay. Wearing it with a shirt that goes up, like wearing it with this, having something like here would be fine. So even this isn't too bad as long as it doesn't rub. I think if it rubs, it would be a problem, but if it was just resting, it would be fine. That's the hope. And then I saw these. This was baby camel fingering weight, and I love anything exotic, so I had to grab this one. This is designed in Finland, made in Italy, 50 grams to 230 meters. So if I need something added in, I can always do another base with this one. And I thought that would be well worth it. And when I asked the lady at the shop about Finnish made wool, or like what is locally made, she pointed me to those first, and she was like, yep, these are Finnish wool, and then this wool, and this wool, and this wool, and then over here, and also over there. And she kind of just points, and she goes, anything with the Finnish flag is Finnish made. And I look over, and I kind of look back at her, and I look again, and I was like, oh my God. There was a wall of mohair, and it was so delicious that I stood there for probably 10 10 minutes where she asked me if I needed help again, and I was just like, I can't choose. So I chose the ones that yelled at me the most and the ones that I would have cried if I had to put back. I don't normally knit with only mohair or kid silk mohair. I always use them in combination. I'm about to prove myself wrong when I show you one of the projects I was working on, but as a general rule, I don't just use it. I mix it with something. And these, I don't know what I'm gonna mix them with, if I will. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I could not resist, and they were so stunning. So I got these 4. These are all dyed in Finland. These are from Hitaran Lula. That was bad, I'm sorry. And they all have, do they all have names in Finnish? No, they have numbers. And handwritten names, which I can't read anyway. So let's just call them by the colours, because otherwise I'm not going to get there. So this is like a greige, like a grey beige kind of beautiful colour. And this one, which is like a rose gold, I thought they had to live together. They were just made for happiness together. And I am in such a green phase. I am obsessed with green. So this deep emerald, I couldn't resist. And then this one just reminded me of my mum, and I really miss my mum. Hi mummy, I love you. By the way, if no one is watching, you need to watch. My mum has a YouTube channel, and it is called A Classic Approach. And oh my goodness, she's amazing. I have been telling everyone I come in contact with about my mum and her YouTube channel, and I sent her YouTube channel to some of the Latvian people who don't speak English, and one of the teachers watched it and just goes, I love Tamama. I love Tamama. Love Tamama. And I was like, yes, love to my mum. Absolutely. So you should also watch my mum. But I saw this, and it's this beautiful combination of hot pink and red. The colouring is not looking as good on camera as it actually is in person. But I figured maybe these two would go together as like a Christmas idea, or I would just find something to do with this. But now that I'm thinking of it, maybe these would go together. Maybe not. Maybe. It would definitely like set the tone. It'd be like a beanie. Maybe. Yes, so these are what I bought, and I just couldn't resist. Oh my goodness, they are stunning. I'm sure you can agree. I'm sure you can understand that I couldn't walk out and not let them be a part of my life. They were, however, super expensive. I also got this little bottle of Euclan because my other wool wash is running out, so I really needed some more. So Helsinki was hella expensive. Oh my lord, it was so expensive. I paid €6 for like a quarter slice of cheesecake. It was tiny. And yeah, I just felt like it was so expensive. So again, I was trying not to spend my money, not because I needed to save, but because it wasn't worth spending my money. So once I kind of went to this yarn store and spent quite a bit of money on this yarn, I decided that was it, and I wasn't going to spend any more, except for what I needed to eat. So I really tried to not spend much money. I did buy Finnish chocolate. Finnish chocolate is quite nice. I do like it. And I bought this. So this is antler bone. Antler bone? Is antler a bone? It's like a calcium deposit, isn't it? Anyway, I bought an antler knife. And so this is leather made, and then this is the antler with the knife. I don't know why, I don't need it, but I really, really, really wanted it, so I bought it. And this one had the cutest like little engraving thingy on it, and I thought it was really cute. So this is, my antler knife, and it has raspberries on it because I put them in the bag with raspberries, which was not a smart idea. yes. Alright, what I was making while I was in those countries. I have shown you this before. I have. And this is made with, again, Woolen Works in the Fairy Bread colorway, which is a classic and amazing. I have a cardigan, which is underneath all of this, in Fairy Bread and Tickled Pink, and I wear it and people always say, oh my god, I love it, it looks like sprinkles, and I say thank you, I know it is, and I get really excited. So this is Fairy Bread colorway. I looked at the jumper that I was making and I realized I hated it. I just hated it. It didn't fit right, it was too narrow for a jumper. The thing is, the neck fit perfectly. I like how loose and how tight. Like, I like the combination of this neck. This is the Tickled Pink colorway. I didn't want to add anything to it. I didn't want to change it. So I removed all the stitches. Like, I took them back up to about here. And I redid the shoulder increases, and I've put in some short rows. That was complicated because I did short rows while shaping the raglan side seam, which normally you don't do. And I'm glad I did because I wanted it to be a continuous increase from the shoulder. If you can see, it's like from the collar, it's an increase, continuous increase. And I really, really, really like it. But it meant that I took a lot off. So this is now where we're up to. And this is the ball that I basically unwound. So I had separated for sleeves and I was knitting down the body before I realized I don't like the shape. I don't know whether it's that I don't like my shape right now, because I have put on a bit of weight with just eating, because I haven't been as careful with my eating because I'm on holiday, except for the fact that this holiday is like a year and a half and I can't actually have that mentality. So I don't know if I'm feeling frustrated in myself or if I can't count. Both are extremely possible things. So basically, I have had to rip back a few things. My most notable is this absolute catastrophe, which I talked about in the last episode. Thank you, Fluff. And yeah, so I've had to re-knit quite a bit. So now I do like the feeling, I do like the shape. Now it sits a lot nicer. And so I will happily continue knitting on this. But basically I undid the whole thing in the bust to talon. And then I started knitting it in the bust to talon. And I'm quite happy with the progress that I have made on this, because this is about maybe 4 hours work. Unknitting, re-knitting, and then I had to tinker back a bit and then redo it. I did the German short rows twice, I did the increases twice. So like, there's a lot of work that's gone into this much. But I'm really happy now with what it is, and I feel like I could now happily increase and there's not a problem. So that is my first project that I started on, which I don't think I will finish in time. I've got 2 weeks. I'm not going to finish this in 2 weeks. I am more than happy for this to become a plain knitting project. And it really is. Like, it's just stocking it in the round with increases every row for this side. So that's easy. The other thing I started knitting on, with more chocolate in my bag, is a mohair blouse. So I talked about before that I've got this Kid Silk mohair by Cowgirl Blues, and this is just in the lace weight mohair, and this is actually the same colorway, which I thought was fascinating. You can really tell the difference. Because you can tell the difference, I am doing helical knitting, because otherwise it would look horrendous. And this is going to be a very gauzy, lacy blouse. And I don't know how much I've got. So I've done this much already. And this is how much I have. This is all I've got. So I'm going to do the top and then the sleeves, and then figure out just where it sits, and then crop it wherever it hits. I might buy another yarn, maybe a white mohair. I've got some already, like a cheap brand. And I might just do the edging in the white mohair just to finish it off and make it look a little bit more polished. So this, so far, is what I have. Where is the back of it? Here. This so far is what I have. It is done with helical knitting, so this striping pattern is just really cool. And it is a blouse. It comes to probably my underarms now, just above. And I am trying to make it loose and extremely generous sized. The point is that it is oversized. The point is that it is meant to be loose and gauzy and open and beautiful. And I am going to do cables down the sleeves. So I've been thinking actually a lot about my design process, or like what I'm attracted to, and playing with proportion and playing with technique, I guess, is something that I find really interesting. So let me get 3 more, otherwise that stitch marker is going to fall off. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So this one is a circular knit top down, obviously. Yeah, circular top down, and here we go. Here's the first, you can barely even see it, but there is the first cable going on where that stitch marker is hanging. These stitch markers, by the way, were made by my beautiful friend Ilsa from Australia. So these, yeah, you can, that's the first sleeve. That is the left, no, yes. Where's the other stitch marker? That is the right sleeve. Because it's on, that's the, yeah, there we go. It's this side. Wow, words are failing me today. When don't they though? Let's be real. So that is the right side sleeve, and the cable is crossing towards the front. And then on the left sleeve, the cable also crosses towards the front. So they're both, it's not the same cable both sides. It's one and then the other way. And this one, I really wanted it to be something beautiful and light and gauzy and open. I'm really, really, really happy with this. It is super warm because mohair is actually like a lot warmer than you think. So it's going to be pretty great for working in Paris. Yes, I did tell you that I got a job in Paris. So, what else was I about to say about this? Oh, that's right. So that is a circular top down. So with circular, you're meant to increase in a certain way. I'm breaking up that certain way to see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll have to rip back mohair. So my freezer's going to get a good workout. But I'm trying to see how it goes because I think I've got an idea. And then this one is a raglan increase, but instead of it being in the 4 traditional points around your shoulder, it goes on your shoulder. So this increase is meant to sit on your shoulder and go down, literally down your arm. That's the whole point of this increase. So again, it's something really I haven't seen before, and it's something a bit unusual. Could work out, could not. It did work before, but I didn't like the yarn, so that's why I'm redoing it in this yarn. But yeah, I just thought I would play around with these interesting construction ideas and see what happens. And if you don't like it, that's fine, don't buy the pattern. But I thought I'd give it a go. So that is what I'm making. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've just got a lot of stuff, which is also very me. I do have a lot of stuff, but I'm really enjoying living here. I'm really sad I have to leave, actually. I've been really loving Riga and really loving living here, and moving is going to be hard. I am hoping to come back. So the goal at the moment, the goal posts keep shifting. 2 weeks ago, the goal was to move to Paris until about December or January, and then move to Turkey and learn Turkish for a few months, and then come back to Latvia, do the language course, and then go home. And now the goal is to move to Paris in 2 weeks, stay until who knows when. I have a job contract. On the phone, they said it's for about 2 months. We'll see what actually it turns into. But that is the next thing. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So it's all a bit up in the air. It's all a bit woo, but it should be good. I'm really hoping it will be. So in my last 2 weeks of Latvia, I'm going to go out with my cousin, and we're going to go on a girls trip with some of her friends who are lovely people, and we're going to the world's widest waterfall. It is 2 meters high, so it's very small, but it's beautiful, and I want to walk on it because actually I went to the city before, but I didn't get to walk on the waterfall, so I want to walk on the waterfall and take some pictures there. And what else was another plan? I don't think there was any other plans. My aunt, is going to take me out for dinner next Saturday, and then I think next Friday, or maybe it's Tuesday. I think it's next Tuesday. I have a group of people coming over for my birthday, because my birthday is on the 25th of September, but obviously I'll be out of the country by then, so we're having family and whoever is in Latvia coming to join while I'm in the country to send me off with a happy birthday, which is really lovely and exciting. So I need to find a nice restaurant for like 19 people. Even in Australia, that's a hard ask, let alone in a foreign country where I don't really know. So tomorrow I'm going to have to go scouting for a cool restaurant. Yeah, so that's kind of it. That's where we're at. I really need to clean my room because I came in, dumped my stuff, went to bed after the trip and haven't actually cleaned it. And then I unpacked, and my unpacking is just to put things in different piles instead of actually cleaning. So I need to do that. I need to film and edit this. Well, edit now because I'm filming it. I need to ask you what you would like to see of Latvia. If you would like to see Latvia in the 2 weeks that I have left here. On that, is there any like bucket list items that you have for Paris that you would like to have lived out by someone else? Basically, eating all the cheese is on my bucket list, which I will be doing in Paris. Parisian wine or French wine. French wine. I sound like a snob already. What else? Hopefully, oh my god, patting all the dogs. One thing that makes total sense here is the amount of dogs people have. Like, I love it. It's, you walk around and everyone just has a dog. Everyone just walks their dog just all the time. There's always a dog, and not just little ones. Like, there are collies and there are labs and there are Alsatians and there are Samoyeds and there love. So I love how many dogs are around here, and I kind of want to pat more. So maybe I just need to be that weird Australian tourist and pat more dogs. But yeah, so there's a couple of things I need to do. Let me know what you would like to see or you would like me to do. And I will see you much sooner than the last time that I videoed. No, wait. I last videoed 3 weeks ago, but then before that was like 2 months. So I'll see you before 2 months. And I will take you for a room tour, because that's all I'm going to be living in Paris, a room for an exorbitant amount of money. Woo! But I will take you for a room tour when I can. Okay, please message and comment down below. I do miss hearing your voices, and let me know what you would like to see or hear about Latvia.